Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified of each new video as they come out.
Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson, you're watching Reality Survival. And so today we're going to talk about a few different methods to control traffic in and around your home or your neighborhood or your property, your bug out property, whatever the case may be. If there was a situation where there was a grid down situation and, maybe it was cyber attack, maybe it was just good old-fashioned terrorism, maybe it was an EMP or something, ridiculously crazy and highly unlikely like that, then you might find it necessary to want to keep people from driving down the road that you live on, or to keep them from just coming down your driveway, or whatever the case may be. And so that's kind of what this video is going to be about. And there are general terms that can apply to, perhaps a lot of different situations. So, the thing is when you're doing this is you're kind of going off of the universal concept that people are lazy. And they're going to look for the softest and easiest targets first. And this is something I haven't really talked about a lot in other videos, but I thought about doing one on it. And that is that, if it was a true grid down situation, they say that like with an EMP anyway, the congressional EMP report said you'd have a 90% kill off in 2 years. Well, that kill off would kind of ramp up in numbers like that, and as the food sources go down like this. So there's kind of this inverse relationship to the number of homes that are, as food becomes less available, there are more and more homes available where people have died and left their stuff. So I think it seems logical to me that criminals are going to go for the easy stuff first. They're going to look for places where people have died and there's food left in their house and they can go and scavenge that and stuff. That's what makes sense to me anyway. I might be wrong on that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But so I think they're mostly inherently lazy. They're going to look for soft targets. So by making your home a little bit harder target, then that's hopefully going to keep people away. So one of the things you could do is you might cut some trees down. The trees that line the roads, you can cut those down in alternating, positions. You don't have to cut down every tree along the road, but maybe every couple hundred yards, put a down tree or something along those lines. And that's going to make it difficult for somebody to drive in. It's also making it a little bit harder for people that are biking and hiking and all that kind of stuff too. Just making it a little bit more difficult. Some people might initially come up with the idea that they should use telephone poles, and even though the grid is down, I would recommend not doing that, because the transformers in a telephone pole can oftentimes act as a capacitor, and they can actually hold electricity in there for a considerable amount of time after the power goes off. So it's actually quite dangerous to cut a telephone pole and bring it down, because you could end up shocking yourself or your loved one or something along those lines. So I would probably avoid telephone poles unless you have some knowledge about how to discharge that, or you're an electrician or a lineman, or whatever the case may be. The other thing you could do is you could look for, like while times are good, I'm not advocating stealing them, but maybe just know where some construction signs are, maybe some detour signs, maybe some, road closed signs, those kinds of things. And you could put those on the road and whatnot to, especially when combined with a few downed trees or whatever, it may give the impression that, hey, this is impassable and we can't get back there, The next thing is tire spikes, tire strips, caltrops, roofing nails. If you're going to use something like this, you obviously want to take this, a little bit further away from your home, quite a ways down the street or whatever, because these things, especially like roofing nails and stuff, it might take a really long time for the tire to go flat. So, that's kind of a deterrent. It's not like something that's going to be immediate. Now, some of the caltrops, if they're made correctly and out of the right stuff, and some of the tire strips, those are going to be more immediate action. But nails and things along those lines can really take quite a while for that tire to go flat there. Okay, you could also look at installing a traditional roadblock. And if you do that, you want to make sure that you've got multiple defensive fighting positions established at the roadblock with real cover, not just concealment. And you want to make sure that you have at least one overwatch position, there as well. And the overwatch position is basically, there to keep an eye on what's out there, keep an eye on you guys, and if somebody comes up and tries to attack you, then they would be able to provide support for you. Let's see. Another one is digging trenches across the road. Doesn't have to be a real deep trench. An 18-inch trench that is, 2 foot wide, just enough for a tire to sink down into and high center a car is going to be enough. If you've got a ditch witch or some heavy equipment or something along those lines that can do that and make that a reality in a little bit faster of a way, then that's going to be a huge force multiplier for you. Like, I have a 60-inch box blade, and with the little spikes that kind of come down out of it and break dirt up, I could put that down and just drag multiple trips across the road and create an impassable ditch in probably 20-30 minutes with a tractor. I mean, it wouldn't take too long, I don't think. And so that is, another possibility as well, something along those lines. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to get out either, so you got to, take that in consideration. Make sure that the disaster is bad enough that you actually want to do this, The next thing is you could go ahead and put some large, heavy objects in the roadway, making it difficult to pass, making it like serpentine barriers, like it out in front of a military base where you might have, maybe some boulders or some concrete, HESCO barrier type things, or, something along those lines. HESCO barriers are really easy to make. Basically, you can take a 16-foot cattle panel and basically fold it into 4-foot sections, 4x4x4, and then line it with a tarp or something along those lines. Get you a good big tarp, and then just start filling that tarp full of dirt and rock and sand and all that kind of stuff, and then set it wherever you want it before you start filling it, because once it's full, it ain't going nowhere. They're real heavy and they're not easy to move, and so that's a pretty easy way to make a big barrier to keep somebody from coming through. Those kinds of things also work really well for cover as well. You could, if you wanted to try to make it movable, you could try to make it so that fits onto a pallet or something along those lines. But then again, you're probably not going to be real super big, or it's going to collapse that pallet too, Okay, so, putting heavy objects in the roadway, making it like a serpentine kind of thing. That way, then, when they're approaching, they have to go slow. That would also be especially useful in combination with a roadblock, so that when somebody is coming up to your roadblock, they can't just ram through it. They have to slow down and kind of weave their way, up to the roadblock. All right, so let's see here. The last one is, cables, chains, barbed wire, razor wire, or something along those lines strung out across the roadways, make it at varying heights, making it difficult to just travel right through. Having a few rolls of barbed wire laying around, they're not especially expensive, and you could make it a big fat mess pretty darn easy with 15 or 20 steel T-posts and some barbed wire stretching back and forth, and that kind of thing, or even going from trees to tree, and it would just be a hassle and a mess and a pain to walk through, if you did something along those lines. So like I said earlier, most criminals are going to avoid, they're going to look for the easy places first. But there are those highly arrogant and savvy criminals out there who may recognize that you have something worth defending, and so that may make them want to come through your obstructions even more. But even if they do that, even if you do have those rare folks who are just really determined, it's going to slow them down. And if you have a watch established at your home, then it's going to slow them down. It's going to alert you that they're coming through. You're going to be able to see that pretty easily, that they're coming through the area, and it's going to make your property a little bit more defensible, or your area, your neighborhood, your, whatever the case may be, a little bit more defensible. So really, this video is not a how-to guide. It's just more of something to get you guys to think about what is possible. And so in your neighborhood, as you're driving around, start thinking about these things and think, oh, well, we could move this over there, or these decorative boulders out into the road. We could, do whatever the case may be, cut this tree or that tree or whatever, to make it a little more difficult to get back here to our house. So that's really the idea with it. It's just to spur some thought, and I would be curious to see what ideas you guys come up with. Let me know in the comments below, what did I forget? What would make a really good way to control traffic in an SHTF situation? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys. Hey, and go by and check out realitysurvival.com. I've made some changes over there, and I got a relationship established with a few different companies for affiliates. Amazon is one. I always appreciate it when you guys use Amazon. But if you're looking for the link to get to Amazon, all you got to do is go to realitysurvival.com. Right there up on the top on the right-hand side, you'll see a banner for Amazon. You click on that. You go to Amazon, buy whatever you want, and then it gives us a little bit of credit for that. It doesn't cost you guys anything more, and I certainly appreciate it. And then on down the line, on the right side of the page, there are some additional affiliate companies that I'm working with, and if you would check those companies out as well, I would really appreciate it. All right, thanks, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you on another video here shortly.